Hey guys, it's Daniel Upgar. I got an interesting video for you all to check out. So, where can you find progressives? Well, you can't find them on MSNBC, let's be honest. You can't find them on CNN. Sadly, you got to find them on Fox. And we had a very interesting conversation with a former Bernie Sanders person. Let's check it out.
Let's bring in Teslin Figaro, 2016 Bernie Sanders campaign. Teslin, we hear from Bernie Sanders there saying that Biden will have a problem, that is, with Bernie voters if he doesn't move further to the left on certain issues. How likely is that, do you think?
Oh, it's very likely. Senator Sanders obviously was being nice, I guess, because Joe Biden is his friend.
So, it looks like it's not just us saying that.
Let me go ahead and give it to you. Straight shot with no chaser. He's going to have a hell of a time moving forward with getting Senator Sanders supporters. I don't care what Senator Sanders said. The bottom line is I have warned folks repeatedly over and over and over that Bernie Sanders supporters are dead serious about that platform. It is platform or else. They could care less about Donald Trump being reelected.
Yeah. Because it's about policy. It's always been about policy. And why would anyone vote for anyone that's not going to help them out? It's like, oh, I could vote for that guy who sexually assaulted women or this guy who also sexually assaulted women. The choice has to be about values. Lesser of evil, voting, blah, blah, blah. All that's gotten us is Trump elected in the first place. If you pick a lesser of two evils, you're still picking evil. You're still compromising yourself. And people are just not going to take it anymore because it hasn't worked, because it can't work.
Because they see their lives being affected the same, either or. They have no problem going to the convention with delegates in hand, willing to negotiate. And Senator Sanders is not going to be able to just tell everybody just to get behind Joe Biden and think that all is well. The pundits this morning are getting it absolutely incorrect. James Carville was saying, oh, no, everybody's going to come together and vote blue. He has no idea what's in the heart and mind of a true Senator Sanders supporter.
To quote a meme that I really like and have on my phone, look, I know we called you brown shirts, blamed you for Trump, called you Russian bots, constantly lied about your agenda, gaslit you for years, engaged in mass voter suppression, got weird with an app in Iowa, and I know we won't adopt any of your ideas, and I know Biden said he'd veto Medicare for all, but I'm really going to need you to vote for this senile puppet now, otherwise Trump is going to win. Yeah, that's kind of the entire point, is I feel like the Democratic Party is more hostile to me than the Republican Party, which is just an absurd way and a reality that I'm in. It's right now. It's like, look at this. We're in a spot where it goes to the point. If progressives just vote blue no matter who, our votes mean absolutely nothing. Because if Democrats can go, they will bitch and moan, but they will always come out to vote. Then they don't have to do anything for us because they've already earned our vote. But if we hold back our vote, then they can bitch and moan, but they will need to start making compromises with us. People that always vote a certain way are, well, sort of useless. They're kind of built-in math that you don't have to do anything to change. And right now, people are getting screwed. Third of America didn't pay rent this month because of the policies that Joe Biden would perpetuate, and also has been a part of making from the beginning.
He's completely wrong. And I am telling you once again that Senator Sanders supporters will move forward with or without Senator Sanders. So he can either go to the convention and negotiate, or he can fold, and they will move forward with the convention, move forward with the movement without him.
It's interesting because the Democrats, Teslin, have a history of nominating moderates who, well, don't win. I was trying to make a list here. John Kerry, Al Gore, Hillary Clinton. There's not exactly a great track record with those moderate Democrats.
I gotta give it to Fox. They're not wrong. Every Democrat that has won in the last 20, 30 years all have had a message of changing the Democratic Party into something better, even when it was a lie, especially when it was a lie. That's kind of what it's always been. So you have Bill Clinton, won. Why? I have a new way, a third way to be a Democrat, and things will be wonderful. But June. And then you had Al Gore. I'm basically a centrist. I don't really have any specific message. I have Kerry. I'm a centrist. I don't really have a specific message. Then you have Barack Obama. Hope, change, a new America, basically a new deal, except I don't really mean anything from it. I'm a moderate Republican. Those are his words, not mine. There was no actual change, but the rhetoric, the campaign was about change. What happens next? You have Hillary Clinton, standard centrist, lost. Joe Biden, standard centrist. Everything says that he's about to lose. I mean, besides his mind, I mean, yeah.
Of course it's not. And I always tell people, I lean center left. I am not a socialist by any stretch of the imagination. I joined Senator Sanders in 2016 because I was anti-establishment. But we could have an entire show on why Democrats keep losing. There are also sectors that still have not had their issues spoken to, particularly black voters. I understand that black voters did vote overwhelmingly for Vice President Joe Biden, but there is still a sector out there of folks who are saying, no, those lists of demands have also not been met, and they will be sitting at home. So I know everybody wants to all get along and have a good kumbaya moment, but Barney, we have a lot to talk about on this subject as soon as we get through this COVID stuff, because it's going to get really real in August, and there's a lot of folks who are disenfranchised and will be further disenfranchised as we continue to move forward through this election.
So what you're saying, to summarize, Teslin, is you just don't see the Bernie bros and the Bernie sisters.
Gotta say, it's really weird hearing Fox go Bernie Bros and Bernie Sisters when MSN and CNN just stick with Bernie Bros. Just putting it out there.
The Bernie bros and the Bernie sisters putting their vote next to Joe Biden's name unless he radically changes some of his views on some of the issues.
Right, and I'm not saying likely, I'm saying what I know, not what I heard. Senator Sanders supporters will not, the majority, will not get behind Vice President Joe Biden. Vice President Joe Biden is not going to radically change his platform. Folks voted for him because they didn't want that type of platform. So why would he change it? That doesn't make any sense. This party is now officially even more divided. And Joe Biden's going to have to figure out how to get other voters, but they won't be Senator Sanders supporters. That's just bottom line. There's no point in playing games with it and pretending that all of a sudden Joe Biden is going to become some left-wing Democrat. He's not. Those are not the voters that voted for him. The sides have been chosen. The line has been drawn in the sand. It's pick a side or step aside. So Senator Sanders can either pick a side with his supporters or step aside, and there are people who are in line that are waiting to take it over. Folks like Killer Mike, people like Senator Nina Turner, who are willing and ready to take it over and pick the ball up where he completely obviously dropped it.
Teslin, you're a great guest because you're very clear on your points. You make them clearly, and that's something that we love on this show. Teslin, thank you so much for joining us. It's going to be fascinating to follow what happens from here, but your message has been heard.
And there you have it. It's basically what we've been saying on the show all this time. You have picked your path. Joe Biden, the man who said he would veto Medicare for all if it came to his desk. If it had passed the House and the Senate, he would still veto it. Joe Biden, the person who can't put a coherent sentence together. Joe Biden, the man who, well, I thought the Democrats were against sexual assault, even stronger cases, but it turns out that's just political. It meant absolutely nothing. They were happy to sacrifice what's his name? The guy from Minnesota, former comedian Franklin or whatever it is. I forget his name already. It's been so long since he's been out of office, even though it really hasn't. This is the Democratic Party. This is what they've come to. This is where they're going. And sadly, well, depending on how you look at it, it's up to us to withhold our vote if we decide to do so. Now, if you want to go vote for Biden, I think that's fine. Everyone has their reasons. And we at Heartlands Media don't tell people how to vote. We just put out the reality as we see it. And we can do whatever we need to do. We just need to build power and keep fighting. Guys, I'll see you on the show.